So I think one thing that can really impact mental health is when people think love means endurance. Like, no matter what this person does,
Right.
I must just take it. I must endure it. And that can be very damaging.
Yes, I think it can, because love should not be sacrificing your emotional well-being, right? And I often tell people to ask yourself this in a relationship. Like, not just do I love this person, but do I feel safe when I'm with this person? Because I believe that emotional safety is very important in a healthy relationship.
The idea of emotional safety is so important, but I feel like a lot of people don't know what it actually looks like.
Yes, I agree. I think emotional safety, it means that you should not fear expressing yourself. You should not fear being dismissed or being punished for expressing yourself. I think in a relationship, we should feel comfortable setting boundaries, and disagreements is something that we have with everybody, so that is inevitable in your relationship, right? So I feel like when you're in a relationship, you should be allowed to disagree with your partner, but that disagreement, it should happen in a healthy way.
Respectful.
Right, you have to be very respectful.
Yes. I feel like a lot of us, we don't have our voice, or we need to find our voices, because I've had many different experiences, and sometimes just because one person has a voice and the other doesn't, it can create an imbalance in the relationship. So it can be unfair to both parties. So for example, if the guy, let's say something happened, we're out together, something happened, right? The guy didn't like it, but he didn't say anything. He chose to keep it on the inside. That's his choice. The female is unaware that anything happened.
Right.
What he's doing is robbing her of a chance to actually fix the issue.
Right, and communication.
Exactly.
Communication is key.
She has to know that something is wrong, or there's something that you don't like. But then when something happens and he does something wrong now, maybe she, having her voice, might speak up in a respectful manner, in a healthy manner. He might feel, why are you making that a problem? Why are you speaking up? It's unfair.
Right.
Why you get to speak and I don't? When he didn't realize he chose not to speak. And vice versa.
So both parties should have a voice in a relationship, and both parties should respect each other's opinions or perspective on whatever the issue may be.
I also want to say, in my experience, this is not all guys. Like, there's millions of different types of guys in the world. I am just giving, yes, I'm just giving my experience. I find in our culture, a lot of the men focus on the physical, where they think emotional safety was that.
Exactly.
But safety to them is physical. If we're out together and somebody, I will fight, or I will, and they're not even aware of emotional safety. So for an example, emotional safety that guys may not be aware of. If you have female friends, or maybe you work with females, right? And the decisions that you make and the way that you move among them, you can create an environment that's emotional unsafe for your spouse. Meaning, if you're too close with these people, they can say things like, work husband and work wife, and like, talk about your partner in a certain way. Oh, she don't even know I have him wrapped around my finger. Oh, she don't even know what I do with him. Oh, you understand? Where they can look down on you because of how that person is acting, or maybe they're too close with them, or something like that. Your spouse or your partner will not feel safe because they feel like you're giving the outside world a certain impression to disrespect your relationship.
Mhm.
That is part of emotional safety. When you have clear boundaries with other
Right.
people, and when
Right.
your partner knows that,
And I feel like the same goes for guys, because sometimes, oh, it goes both ways,
it
in
goes
fact.
both ways.
Because a guy may be uncomfortable with his partner or his spouse having male friends,
right.
and a female maybe, vice versa. And I feel like if there is trust in the relationship, that should not be an issue. And of course, we need to set boundaries with our
Exactly.
friends,
Exactly.
because we have to understand that we are in a relationship. So how is that going to affect whatever action that person does? How is that going to affect my partner?
It's all connected.
Right.
So the way that you're moving, it's connected to emotional safety. It's connected to how comfortable your partner is trusting you, seeing that you have the proper boundaries that
In
you all
place.
agreed upon.
Right.
So when you're living your everyday life, if you want to be single and do whatever you want. If you choose to be in a relationship, your actions, you're representing that other person as well. You have to consider your actions. You have to know that everything is connected, right? If you don't want that burden, I mean, it's not a burden to me, but if you want to call it a burden, if it's a burden to you, or that responsibility is a better word, just stay single. It's as simple as that.